Hi guys, we're here with Jamie from Nightforce Optics. So as most people know, it's a division of Nightforce. Is that correct, Jamie?
That's correct, yeah.
But so this is the first time I've actually reviewed anything from Nightforce. I mean, it's a product I know of, but I don't have a lot of experience with it. But you guys have been requesting it, so here we are. So mate, thanks for your time anyway. I appreciate you talking to us.
Thanks for coming.
Can you just explain to even myself, because I don't know a lot about the product range, and even the guys at home who are looking at this, what's the difference between your optics and what sets it apart from, you know, other brands out there?
Sure. Well, I can't comment too much on other brands because I've actually been lucky enough to only use these optics.
Yep.
But I can tell you that they have a very high quality control standard. It's a big labour component in these optics.
Yep.
Every lens is hand bedded. So basically we set standards for ourselves which is unprecedented in any other brand of optic. So yeah, without going into too much detail.
Yeah, alright, okay. So what, whereabouts, I should ask, because people are going to ask, where are they made?
Sure. So it's an Australian-owned company. The biggest market for scopes is in the USA. So we do have the factory and the major facility there in the United States.
Yep.
A large portion of our range is Japanese lenses.
Yep.
We get them shipped over, and we pull them apart, strip them, and put them back together.
Right.
And make sure that everything's to our spec.
Awesome. And what sort of warranties come with the Nightforce optic?
So they are a lifetime warranty.
Okay.
And
awesome.
that's transferable. Basically, even if you just want to get your lenses clean, we'll get them in and we'll send it back. We have got a place there in Adelaide in Australia.
Yep.
Got a small team there, so
great.
It's great to get a week's turnaround on that.
Excellent. Okay, so now we've got the sort of specs out of the way with it, mate. Can you give us a bit of a rundown on the different models and just what people might look for when they're looking for an optic?
Absolutely. So we've got everything from 1 to 4, all the way up to an 8 to 32.
Yep.
And a competition 15 to 55 power.
Yep.
So we've got hunting, competition and tactical type stocks. Now up until just recently, all of these scopes have been in the same tier range, which is tier 1. So the price doesn't alter much around magnification. They all have the same quality standard. However, just this year we brought out the first ever tier 2 product. And the reason we've never done this before is because we want to market our product on durability, quality, all these things that we don't want to compromise on.
Yep.
So this scope is basically the same lenses, the same tube, the same optical quality as the other scopes. What we've cut costs on is the production line. Yep. We've got limited options, limited reticle options, European eyepiece, and a different turrets that allow sort of a quicker and more efficient assembly line.
Okay, awesome. And that's a SHV?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a look if we can at one up close.
So the other neat thing about this scope is that we've really had the Australian hunters in mind with this one.
Yep.
We have got a 56mm objective, which is the best light transmission for night hunting.
Sure. Yep.
We have the option of illuminated or non-illuminated reticles.
Yep.
We have the international hunting reticle, which is a very popular reticle. But
so that's this one.
That's this one here. Yep. So lots of Australian hunters don't want the clutter of a big tactical reticle like the guys in the US.
Yep.
We do have the option of more tactical style reticle, however, for those longer range shooters. It's a 4 to 14 power, so it's got the low range magnification for those fast running shots at pigs. Yep. But also enough to look out 300 yards or so.
And Jamie, these are all like available. Like when you obviously order them, you can order them obviously with your specific preference for reticle, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. So illuminated, non-illuminated, just for the SHV, and 2 different reticle options. Yep. So there's probably 4 scopes in that range you can choose choose from.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, I've had this, I guess, debate with a lot of people before. I mean, my main purpose, obviously, occupational shooting, hunting, that sort of thing.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not a massive fan of a really big magnification because obviously I want to be able to take the quick shots and be able to pick up the game or whatever I'm aiming at. But obviously, people who are into target shooting or long range, like tactical style shooting, then obviously need that bigger objective. Would you agree with that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And the factor is that most of our optics, they've got 4 times magnifier. Now it's really important because from the low end to the high end, 2 lenses that move within a tube, and the further you're trying to get those lenses to move, the more margin of error you can build in there.
Yep, sure.
So we want to keep it, within a certain range so that we're keeping the precise tolerances.
Sure. Yep. And what about price range, mate? What are we looking at with the differences between like the most common NXS series as opposed to the SHV?
So our recommended retail in SHV, $1,200 for the non-illuminated, 14 for the illuminated.
Yep.
And then you jump up to around about 1,700 for the bench rest model, which is down this end.
Yep.
Now the bench rest, these ones here, these have been around since the start of the company. So that's why they're priced how they are.
Okay.
After that, you get around the 2,100 mark.
Yep.
The 3.5 to 15s, for example.
Yep.
And then the price steadily increases with magnification, but mainly centered around whether it's got a zero stop adjustment.
Yep.
The objective will add a little bit.
Yep.
The size of the objective, and we've got some pretty neat reticle options as well.
Awesome. So with your actual quality of the actual lens, is there any difference in the actual quality of the glass with the SHV as opposed to the NXS?
Same glass.
Exactly the same.
Same glass, yeah.
Right, so anyone who looks through it will still, if they know the Nightforce product, will appreciate looking through even the cheaper scope to say, well, that's still the quality.
In fact, the whole point here was to create an entry-level scope that would introduce people to the quality of the Nightforce brand and make it affordable so that they can actually say, right, I know what it is, now I can move on to something that's even more rugged.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent, mate. All right, well, look, thanks very much for your time. I really appreciate you showing us around. And look, maybe, guys, it'll be something I'll review down the track. There's so many products to review. But for those of you at home who have been pestering me for this, here you can see the range here. And as we always do, mate, we put the link in for the website underneath the review, so we'll get that up so viewers can see that. So thanks again.
Thank you.